Welcome to IMAGI-NATION TV, Week 13, Episode 62, featuring artists on the theme of change. I'm your host, Joshua Davis, from Alkira Secondary College, and I'm Year 11. Change means a lot to me, really. There's so many ways you could look at it. It's really a stepping stone to better things in life. It's a big risk, but it can be the biggest reward, and it's something we all have to go through. Out of hosting this show, I really just want to have a new experience, try something new, and get out of my normal routine and make a change for myself.
Thanks so much for that intro, Josh. I think we can definitely hook you up with a few tools to learn something new and make a change for yourself as well. Yesterday on our show, we had a keynote, Sareti, who was uncovering some really significant learnings for us. And Kaylani, our host, also asked some really good questions of that. And one of the things that she said was a powerful quote that she referred to was, if you see an injustice, change it with your actions. If you cannot do this, change it with your tongue. And if you cannot do this, then change it with your heart by any means necessary. So if you missed yesterday's episode and you're keen to listen to her break that down a little bit, jump onto our channel and have a look at episode 61, where she puts it into some really practical steps for us. Ahead on today's show, Friday is one of my favourite days, and it's not just because it's the end of the week, because I actually really love my job, but we get to hang out with the musicians and artists and bring you guys some inspiration as you head into the weekend. We also have Dorcas from our AIM team in Melbourne co-hosting before she takes a lead role next week. Dorcas, how are you today? Want to introduce yourself to the audience?
I certainly do. Thank you so much, Steph. I'm super excited to be here today. And yes, I work at AIM, and next week will be my week to host. So today I'm just having a little soft practice with Steph. So yeah, I'm based in Melbourne. I lead the African Australian stream. And I'm super excited to be here. And I hope you all will get to learn more about me next week when I host. So I'm just going to throw back to you, Steph, or is it to Josh to take us through? Let's keep going.
That's your one, Josh, to introduce your live audience, buddy.
All right, so here, our live audience at Allara Secondary College, we have Keanu Jude. Give us a wave. Bigger than that, come on. Taylah and her sister, Shakila. We have Marley. Alexia, oh, well, she's not here today, but she's here in spirit. Imogen, Kiara, Giselle, Charlie, we've got Anthony, Dalen, and Caden. So how are you guys feeling about being on IMAGI-NATION TV today?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Well, what do you want to get out of today?
I said something. Just seeing how different artists perceive different things and how everybody else perceives changes.
All right. And what does change mean to one of you?
Change to me means improving on what you once didn't know or once struggled in, or not really mistake. Mistake's not the best word. But change means improving yourself in ways that you didn't know before.
Can you give us an example of a time you've experienced change?
Going into high school in BC itself was a massive change to adapt to more classes, different homework, different teachers. In fact, itself was a big change.
Okay, thanks for your answers. So now we'll be moving on to the 60-second principal challenge. If you'd like to come in. Well, this is Mr. John Shaw. He's the principal over here at Allara Secondary College.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the invite.
How are you feeling about being on the show?
Feeling nervous but excited.
Well, that's good. Hopefully you kill it. Are you ready for your challenge?
I'm ready.
Are you guys ready to score him?
Yeah.
Remember,
We have 60 seconds. Start the timer. All right. What is your idea of perfect happiness?
Perfect happiness would be spending all my time with my family and making sure that they are happy.
Good answer. What's your secret power?
Secret power. I can sing in the shower.
What quality do you most like in puppets?
In puppets?
In puppets.
It's just silent observation.
What's your greatest fear?
Well, now it's heights. Yeah, but I think in context of this this meeting, it's about not seeing the change that we so really deserve. Yeah.
Good answer. Which talent would you most like to have?
I'd love to be able to play a musical instrument.
Ooh. Which historical figure do you most identify with?
I've been told I look a lot like Gandhi, so perhaps maybe Gandhi.
All right, well, time's up. Audience, how do you reckon he did?
Well, 8's good. I'm happy with 8's. No detentions for you guys. Oh, that's 6. Oh, yes.
Oh, well, that's a 3. Whoa!
Hang on, just take it.
Well,
All done.
thanks for joining us today, Mr. Shaw. And
I'm looking forward to the show.
yeah, I'd like to throw it back to Steph real
Thanks,
quick.
Josh.
Awesome. Thanks, Joss, and thanks, Mr. Shaw, for the work that you do in the school to support AIM and the kids that we work with. We are now going into our pre-recorded 180 seconds of wizardry, so get ready for some magic, because on today's segment, we have Joe Blank at Blank Canvas, who will be sharing the knowledge of wizardry in puppeteering. Joe was an independent artist and took a risk to create a studio, which is now being dubbed as one of the coolest puppet studios in Australia. So let's see if we agree, and here's the video.
Hi, I'm Joe Blank and I run a creature workshop in Melbourne called Blank Canvas. We make weird and wonderful things here, but before we get started, let's go back to where it all began. When I was at school, I did graph and I was a bit of a ratbag, but I stuck it out, finished school and got myself a job at Scenic Studios and became a scenic artist. When I started there, I painted brick walls and graffiti, but this time I got paid for it. I learned from the master painter's perspective and how to paint properly and on a big scale. While I was working there, I started doing pavement art, doing festivals, and then started working on my own creatures and characters. I started sculpting and then got into puppetry. I love the idea of taking my drawings and bringing them to life through puppetry. I started putting on performances and then got myself a job at the Creature Technology Company as head scenic artist and concept artist. It was such a great place to work. I worked on How to Train a Dragon, King Kong and Walking with Dinosaurs, amongst many others. It was pretty fantastic. After 6 years, I left the Creature Technology Company and went out on my own and started a Blank Canvas. Along the way, I learned Photoshop and ZBrush, and as my designs got better, my puppets got better and bigger. I love large-scale puppetry because you get to work with so many creative, amazing people. From engineers to special effects artists to costume designers, painters and builders. We all work together and collaborate on creating an amazing piece of art. I'm pretty lucky to have such a great job and work with so many awesome people. My advice to you is follow your dreams, take risks, and keep learning. I just learned how to make this video. I hope you like it.
How was that studio? I think that was incredible. I think I haven't seen many puppet studios, but I definitely agree that it's probably one of the best in Australia. How about the live audience? Do you guys enjoy that segment?
Very cool. Yeah.
Maybe we can put in a request for some large scale puppets at the next program day. What kind of characters would you guys like to see?
Weird, wonderful ones.
The glowing ones were really cool too.
Yeah, cool. Well, maybe that's a bit of homework for you. Put it to your program manager to make that happen, because we're always working with puppets now at AIM. We're going to throw over to our next section now, and we have 3 very talented artists joining us for today. As we introduce them, we're going to ask them to build a toolkit with us, actually, and you get to add 2 tools to this kit, a starter kit for young people who are willing to be or trying to be artists or thinking about being that, or some of the young people that are already on their journey. And we're going to throw over to Dorcas, and she'll take us for a whip around and give us our intros.
Oh yes, let's do whip around the grounds. I'm super excited to introduce all of you to these incredible artists. Let's start with Taylah Aimee Cole, who is an Indigenous textile designer and an artist. And Taylah, you're inspired by the traditional owners of the land on which your university is on, RMIT. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, your work, your practice, and that inspiration?
Yeah, so I studied at RMIT 2 years ago. I studied textile design. So I guess for me, my culture is very heavily influenced in my art practice and my design practice. And when I was at university, there was a competition and to design some Indigenous branding for the university, and I happened to be lucky enough to win that competition, and that really was sort of the starting point for me in my sort of what I can call now a career. It is possible. So I'm heavily inspired definitely by the Koori landscape, because that's where we're Koori, meaning like Victoria and New South Wales. Definitely very heavily influenced by nature in design and my art practice.
Amazing. I can't wait to see what you've got in store for us. So keep thinking about your design for today. And let's meet Jemila MacEwan, who is in New York. And you were like, oh my God, y'all are wearing sweaters and I'm in the heat. But welcome, Jemila. Jemila is an interdisciplinary artist. And I saw your work online, and it's just these incredible sculptural pieces. And I can't wait to find out more about it. So please tell us about your art practice.
Hi, yeah. So as an interdisciplinary artist, I work across mediums of performance art and sculpture and film. And I really draw a lot of inspiration from landscape. And on the theme of today of change, a lot of my work is really about change. And today I'm going to be working in clay, which is a medium that I really like to work in to help me think of ideas. And through working with clay, I made a whole series of work about volcanoes, and thinking about volcanoes helped me to really find a way to be okay with, the change that happens when you experience raw emotion, because you see that in landscape a lot. So, and today I think I might work on some sculptures of mushrooms, because I'm thinking about making a lot of work about mushrooms right now, because they have an incredible, they play an incredible role in our whole ecosystem. So at the moment I'm thinking of really big projects. I want to grow some giant mushrooms, sculptures. So I'm going to start just working with clay today.
Amazing. I can't wait to see what you come up with. And finally, let's meet Mulga, who is so much. Mulga, you are a street artist, freelance illustrator, muralist, published author, designer, all of these incredible things. So of all of the work that you do you have a favorite? Or rather, how do you what's the common thread that holds it all together so that it makes sense to you as a creative person?
I guess a lot of my art is kind of fun, colourful, bright, summery. So I just like to make people smile, make people happy. So painting murals on, you know, public walls and lots of schools, just bright colours and, you know, detailed black lines. Yeah, just trying to keep it fun and happy, basically.
Awesome. We're looking forward to a whole heap of fun from you today. So I am going to throw it straight back to Steph, and let's keep the show going.
We also have Emily joining us as well as a visual artist. So we'll say hi, and do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about the work that you're going to do today? Sorry, it's Taylah.
Sorry. So I'm gonna do, I've got some soft pastels and oil pastels. I use a lot of like gouache, which is like a textile, use a lot in textile design, but I've been trying to like push my practice a bit. So I'm going to use oil pastels, and I've also got just some paint just for some quick kind of, you know, just to finish it off, because I've got quite a large piece of paper to draw on. And I'm going to use some text, which I usually don't do. So I'm going to have a bit of a challenge for myself.
Like it. Yeah, one challenge that I have for all of you guys is to think of 2 tools that you want to chuck into this toolkit for kids that want to be creators or artists. I'm going to jump ahead and say that my contribution will be imagination, and we'll check back in with you guys. Good luck and have fun, and we'll swing into a bit of music. Right now we have imagination music, and our first pre-record is from Chantel. She's in a band called Eileen, and today we're going to be listening to their song Rage and Wine. So hope you guys enjoy it.
Imagination is an open door to creativity. I've always been someone with a really overactive imagination, always thinking crazy things and never knowing where to put it. So creatively, it's been such a great outlet for me to put my imagination, and especially dealing with a lot of struggles when I was a teenager and when I was younger. It's been so good to use my imagination and my creative outlet to help me cope with these things that I didn't understand, and give me a better understanding and be kinder to myself when I do understand. And imagination's been so amazing for that, and so amazing to be creative and feel no shame in myself when I am. When I think of the word change, it always seems so scary, like you've got to change, you've got to be different. But I've learned to see it as such a positive thing, to change and to grow and to see the world in a different perspective. I look back at myself and I've changed so much to the person that I was, and I'm not mad about that change. I'm so happy about it, and to be able to look at it in positive lights and in a negative light. Sometimes we have to change, and that realization is so important to take the first steps to change. 15 years old, it feels like so long ago, and all I remember is putting so much pressure on myself, and all I can tell you is you don't need to. It's going to go so quickly. Like, I know it's so cheesy, but try and enjoy the time while you can, and write stuff down, because your memory goes. Like, I wish I wrote more things down that I enjoyed, and just so I can look back at it and go, actually, yeah, I did have a good time when I was 15. It's not all horrible and school and stuff like that. Just try and enjoy it, and it gets better if you're going through it bad. I'm Chantel, I'm the lead singer of Eileen Grace, and we're about to sing to you our debut single that's just about to be released, Rage and Wine. This song's really important to me, and I wrote it as a coping mechanism for all the struggles I went through when I was a teenager and when I was younger. And it's really helped me look at things at point blank and be okay with it and get all of that anger and all of that emotion out. And I hope you guys enjoy. Open up your curtain, let their eyes wander and why they care so much how you live your life. to go if I could. I build a rocket ship and fly to the furthest star, try to go back in time instead of drowning in my raging wine. Little girl, if I could, I'd build a rocket ship and fly back in time. Front door, close your junk drawer so they can't see what you're hiding. Little girl, if I could, I'd build a rocket ship and fly to the furthest star, try to go back in time instead of drowning in my raging wine. Little girl, if I could, I'd build a rocket ship and fly back in time. Try to go back in time instead of drowning in my rage and wine.
Powerful voice and great message coming through as well. Thanks for taking the time to put us through to put that together for us, Chantel, and your band, Eileen Grace. We are going to go to Dorcas now, who's going to lead some questions with a live audience and how you guys felt. I don't know about you guys, but the riff on that guitar in the middle, I think it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it was pretty awesome as well. How do you guys think it went? Did y'all like it?
Yeah, amazing. It was really good.
Yeah, which part did you like the most? When she was talking or when she was performing? Where were you when the whole thing was happening?
I think it was both. Like, I really liked the music too. That was really good. Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah. Do we have any musicians in the house? No. That's okay. But I mean, Chantel spoke about this as a coping mechanism. You know, what does music mean to you guys?
I feel like music can be like interpreted in many different ways and like different situations and that, which is good.
Yeah, amazing. Well, I'm excited to see who we have next. I think we have a pre-record from Allara Briggs, Pattison, who is a musician, composer, and filmmaker, and the performance is called Seed. So let's jump onto that.
change is a big one, and change is the work that I do within SEED, Indigenous Youth Climate Network. The kind of change I'd like to see in Australia is that we get to celebrate and be really proud of our culture as First Nations people, and that we can teach and share that culture, and that other people respect it and care for it as much as we care for it. It also means that there's structures that need to change within our society so that we can do that in a way that is self-determined. So it's, you know, driven by us and for us and for our country. And that's the most important thing, making sure we're caring for our country and protecting country. We're not traditional owners. We come from the country. It's so much bigger than us, so we can't possibly own it. The land has birthed us, and as we've come from that, so remembering that too. There's a really, really big fight for climate justice ahead of us, and young people are at the forefront of this fight and the front lines, and that's really big and can feel really scary. But I think to know that you've got people out there who understand that journey and who have been there and who have walked that path before you, and knowing that you can always lean on people who are older than you and our elders, because we've been there and we've done that, and we're continuing to do it, and we're continuing to walk there behind you so that you know that we are here. And that the reason we show up and we fight the fight for justice and we fight the change is because we love you, like our youth. You know, it's important and part of our culture that to nurture the young mob, and so yeah, knowing that we're always going to be here for you, especially when you step up and you want to take the lead and make the changes.
My name's Allara, and I'm going to share a song called Seed. I wrote it in honour of SEED, Indigenous Youth Climate Network, and it's essentially about climate justice. It is by no coincidence the global Indigenous are sacrificed for the causes, but are feeling the impacts first and worst. Cultures who understand time differently to the Western mind see as far back as we see forward. We honour our ancestors like we honour our great-great-grandchildren. Time is no 9 to 5, time is a gift. Presence gives us the ability to receive, and inside time hides unconditional love and ultimate forgiveness. We go forward, she goes round and round. We go forward, she goes round and round. Our mother, she is talking to us. Can you hear her? She is crying, raging storms and floods strong enough to easily rip this city apart. Her guilt festers elsewhere, grinding teeth, jaw clenched, watching in disbelief, her eyes grow dry. She couldn't fill the barker, even if she cried a river of tears, because cotton, dairy, and rice. We go forward, she goes round and round. We go forward, she goes round and round. Our mother, she is talking to us. Can you hear her? Indigenous uprising on the front lines, old white men quiver, squeaking childish threats, then silence. Deep down, they know we are right. They know they went too far, but trying to hold on to what's left of their power. Maybe it's childhood trauma, hate or spite, but they continue to light our mother on fire. They pour poison down her throat, create GMOs packed in pretty plastic wrap, pop it in a box, sell it nice and cheap to us mob in the shops. We go forward, she goes round and round. We go forward, she goes round and round. Our mother, she is talking to us. Can you hear her? Between psychotic episodes of connecting the dots, inspired by moments of truth and spiritual liberation, are moments of early onset menopause and depressive neglect due to their adolescent selfishness. Our mother, she says to me, the balance is off. This will challenge you all to your core. It is time to abolish capitalism, greed, white supremacy, and war. Because I won't take this anymore. I don't know what happened or what went wrong, but they became the master and I their machine. They pushed me too far. So with LORE, I'm calling on the global Indigenous to lead the revolution with qualities of love, empathy, compassion, and unwavering resilience. We go forward, she goes round and round. We go forward, she goes round and round. We go forward, she goes round and round. We go forward, she goes round and round.
That was Allara Briggs Pattison, and that was incredible. I've never seen anything like that before, and having her fight for the climate justice movement is amazing. We're going to go to Dorcas now and see if she's got any questions for the live audience on how they felt about that.
Yeah, that was incredible, Steph. I agree with you. I've never seen something quite so moving. So guys in the live audience, how did you feel about that?
Really inspiring. I think it's really powerful and relevant to the issues that have been going on recently, and how relevant it was to youth and to all ages really,
and just society in general now, with everything going on. It's such a powerful message which demonstrated everything.
Yeah, and it demonstrated a lot of what people know to believe is true but refuse to accept what's happening.
Yeah, so true. And in terms of change and how we can obviously contribute positively, to this land, to this country, to this nature, what do you guys think you would do or you would change and do differently in your everyday life?
Just try to keep improving the world that we're living on, because it's us that are going to continue living on it for years to come, and for younger generations as well.
Amazing. The future is in good hands. Thanks, guys. Keep doing the good work. I'm going to throw it back to Steph to introduce the next segment.
Yeah, and we're going to handball that straight back to our host, Josh, and he's going to talk us through what the next performance is. All yours, Josh.
Well, now it's time for our last performance, and straight after this, we'll go back to our artist to see the finished product. Today we have a throwback to the 2018 AIM anthem, featuring the mentees in the program singing "A Change Is Gonna Come." Let's check it out. Well, that was beautiful to watch. Now it's time to check in on our artists and see how they're doing. So, Taylah, how's your piece looking?
Good. I've done two. So the first one I used the oil pastels. So I wrote, "Be the change you want to see." And I thought I'd do it in bright colors because even though change can be really scary, it's still a positive thing, even if we take those risks. And I like to just hide it in a pattern because that's what I kind of do as my job. And then I also did this one, which is sort of just like more of a abstract thing, but it turned into a love heart. So I thought that was a nice little message, because I think right now a lot of us need a bit of love, and even though it's hard times, we can still have happiness and to hold each other close and things like that. So yeah, that's that one.
Oh, well, looked wonderful. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You guys have any questions to ask Taylah?
It looked really good, and how you put it all together in that, it looked really like amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love the fact that you said you love like for your job, you embed words into your artwork. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I would say that a really nice way to create things is to not be a perfectionist. Like I always do stuff like this, which is just really random, and then I sort of like take parts out of it and make patterns or come back to later. And I think that's a really nice way to sort of get out of your head a bit if you're doing some art.
Any other questions?
What's your favorite like words to embed into your paintings?
That's a really great question. I can speak French, so sometimes I put French words just because I like the idea of my audience or my not being able to understand, and sometimes like having like a hidden meaning behind my artwork. So yeah, sometimes I write in French, or I don't know, I guess I like, you know, like big words that have like complex meanings, like I like change. Like I think that's a really, you know, poignant message right now. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
It's good.
Is that all? Any more questions? All right, well, thanks, Taylah. It was beautiful to see your artwork.
Thank you
And
so
I'm sure you'll continue to do great things.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Jemila. Can we see what you've done?
Hi, my cat just joined me. So I've been working on like these forms that are really similar to oyster mushrooms. If you ever see these kind of mushrooms that grow off to one side like this, and you can buy them in the supermarket and like cook with them, but they also grow naturally, and it's something that I've been growing at home to eat during the pandemic. And I was always really amazed by the gills. I don't know if it's translating on this screen, but I spent a lot of time listening to the really beautiful words in those songs and just meditating on those while I was drawing these lines. And it also reminded me that when I was really young as a sculptor, the best advice I ever got was with working with clay was to let the clay grow like a mushroom. And to me, I took that as like, let the clay be alive under your hands.
Well, thank you. It's beautiful, and I love the detail you've put into your piece. Do any of you have any questions to ask?
It looks like you work like a lot with nature. Is that because it's like your passion, or is it because you just mislit things surrounded by like buildings?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the problems, I guess, that have been talked about a lot of it is due to the way that we've denied, that there's been a societal denying of our role in nature and our participation in it, and we're from it and we're of it. So I think that working with landscape, with nature, with natural forces is also a way of helping me to listen to our planet.
Any more questions?
It's just really amazing how to see you use your techniques in that to make that. It was just really nice to see the end result of it.
Thanks.
What about the boys? You guys got anything?
Yeah, looks good.
Your cat's really cute, by the way, too.
Well, thank you for that, Jemila. It was nice to have you join us here today.
Oh, thank you. It's been a real treat.
All right. Finally, we have Mulga. You're up, mate. What have you got?
I've been drawing this gorilla. he's going to be saying, peace, my homies. Haven't finished him yet. He's a bit of a work in progress. So just use these Posca paint markers. You guys used these before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Posca at the bottom. Love Posca. But yeah, I started drawing gorillas a few years ago. I went to the zoo and there was this huge gorilla there, and it was just like, I don't know, it really inspired me. It was just this big, hairy, powerful beast, but he was just chilling. So I don't know. I just really love drawing animals, and yeah, I've always drawn gorillas. My first mural down at Bondi Beach was a big gorilla. I was actually doing something similar. It was a gorilla holding an ice cream. There's a little poem he was saying. So yeah, it's a gorilla. Woo!
Oh, what can I say? A beautiful gorilla. What flavour ice creams you got?
Probably I like lemon. What's that lemon flavour? Lemon sorbet.
Oh yeah.
I'll do a lemon sorbet. Can't go wrong.
Good choice. You guys, any questions? Anything you want to know?
I see your use of really bright colours. Is that something really important to you?
Yeah, I love using bright colours. I think it's just good. It contrasts nicely. So I use black lines. So when you've got black colours contrasting with those bright colours, it really looks good. Plus, I don't know, bright colours just kind of make things prettier and it makes people happier. Yeah. I just like, adding colour to the world, I guess, in my own style. Yeah.
Anything else? All right, well, thanks for joining us there, Mulga. Looks beautiful.
Yeah, my pleasure.
A few more gorillas.
Yeah, not enough gorillas around.
Well, we've had a jam-packed week exploring change with some incredible people here. And I just want to say that when you can come to YouTube for just about anything, it's been encouraging and energizing to have so many people come to YouTube over the past 13 weeks to mentor kids with open hearts and open minds. I look forward to seeing you all next week.